Let's go ahead and put the counter right here, up in this corner. Cool. Let's go ahead and get started. So recently I started watching X-Men the animated series on Disney Plus because, honestly, it's one of the few superhero cartoons I haven't gone through and just watched. And I'm really excited that it's there on Disney Plus, so available for people to watch. So the show is extremely binge-worthy. It's like 20-minute episodes, about 13 episodes per season, and there's 5 seasons. I don't want to do the math. I don't want to see how much time I'm spending watching TV. So, whatever. Just suffice it to say it's very easy to watch very quickly. Now, if you haven't seen it, X-Men the animated series is based on the Marvel comic X-Men, particularly the Jim Lee era, which, by the way, I met Jim Lee once. Nicest guy. Loves his fans. If you ever have a chance to meet him. He's a great guy. Now, the basic premise of the animated series of the show and of the comic book is that every once in a while, a human is born with a genetic abnormality, which gives them some kind of different physical trait. Now, this can be anything from turning the person a bright green color to turning them into this giant metal monster thing that can tear down buildings very quickly. Now, the government isn't too impressed with genetic mutations or these mutants because their powers kind of represent a future where they're not sure if they can follow. So the government does a ton of shady things. One of those things they do is they create a small army of robots, and these robots are huge. They're like, in the show, they're like 6 stories tall. They're big, and their whole purpose is to chase down mutants and eradicate them, one way or the other. This leads to 2 ways of thinking. We have the X-Men, who believe that through proper channels and through the due process that has been put in place by the Constitution and by our founding fathers, that they can reverse the law by being peaceful, by being compliant, and by just doing everything they can to create peace between mutants and humans. Then we have the bad guys led by Magneto, who believe that the only way that mutants can survive is if they eradicate the humans and they fight back. The big appeal to X-Men, historically speaking, and the reason why these characters have probably lasted so long, starts at the very beginning when the characters were first invented back in the 60s. The idea was that the X-Men were to be an allegory to the civil rights movements that were happening at the time. These were people that were born differently or can't really help how different they are, and the government is doing everything they can to censor them and to quiet them. Over the years, this allegory was expanded to include lots of different things. Religion, recently gender and orientation has been a big one. Music that you listen to, the hobbies that you participate in. Basically anything where people are oppressed because of their personal nonviolent lifestyle, be that natural or acquired. Like, for instance, when the government starts creating bots, or in another word, sentinels, to go around the internet and flag and find and detain people making fun, family-friendly content about cartoons, comics, superheroes, crafts, educational content, personal stories, vlogs, video games, gameplay, bright colors, quote-unquote hip language, music, instructional videos, so pretty much anything that is worth watching or anything that anyone is creating on YouTube. It's too vague. The laws are too vague, and it's giving the government too much power to censor anyone that they choose to censor at any time. So no one needs to have this much power to censor free speech, to censor the internet, and to censor what people are saying. Because as X-Men eventually leads to describe and explain, there's no difference between mutants and humans. There's only humans. Something to think about. I'm very curious what my coppa violation counter reads now. I'm going to have to go through the edit and find out, but until next time, thank you for joining me. Have a great day. Remember to leave a comment on the FTC's website, and remember to always be your best self.